In the Lesson 6.4 example, what proportion of students have a smartphone, we'll calculate the mean and standard deviation of the sampling distribution of p hat. Suppose that 43% of students at a large high school own a smartphone. As part of a school-wide technology study, the principal surveys a simple random sample of 100 students. Let's let p hat equal the proportion of students in the sample who own a smartphone. For part A, we'll calculate the mean and standard deviation of the sampling distribution of p hat. Recall, as we sample different groups of 100 students, that p hat might vary somewhat. So we want to know typically what would we expect to see for the mean, and about how far will those p hat values vary from that mean. Now in this context, the sample size is 100 and the population proportion is 0.43. Because p hat is an unbiased estimator of the population proportion, the mean of p hat will simply be that population proportion value. And the standard deviation can be found by taking the square root of p times 1 minus p divided by n. So the mean of p hat is equal to the population proportion, or 0.43 in this case. The standard deviation will be the square root of 0.43 times 1 minus 0.43 divided by the sample size 100. That gives us 0.05. For B, let's interpret that standard deviation. Well, in simple random samples of size 100, the sample proportion of students who own a smartphone will typically vary by about 0.05 from the true proportion value of 0.43. For additional practice calculating the mean and standard deviation of the sampling distribution of p hat, try exercise 1.